Okay, we are going to do here homework for session 1.2. So one thing I want you to know that the question I'm reading can be similar to what you have, but not necessarily the same. Hence, it can bring to different answer. Therefore, please listen carefully my explanation for every single answer so you can pick the right one for yourself. Also, if you see you are having hard time or you want to practice some more, once you answer wrong, let's say, let me see, I'm picking on purpose some wrong answer, right? Submit question, it's wrong. You see here, get similar question. Right above, it says get a similar question, okay? Or the other way, also you can click jump to answer. And this will use up your remaining tries, but since it's a homework, you have unlimited, so it doesn't matter. So you click OK, and it's gonna show your answer, and it doesn't show. That's interesting. Okay. Convenience, yeah. Here is the answer. Okay. So this is how it's gonna work. So now let's start working. So question number 1. In a study, the sample is chosen by asking people on the street. What is sampling method? First of all, one thing, let me explain to you what is sampling. Let's say if we want to do research on a population in United States, let's say figure out what's the average age. You can't go throughout entire country and knock door to door, right? For that reason, we do sampling. So sample is a subset that represent the subject of our interest. Or maybe researchers want to do research on all, let's say, dolphins in the world. So you can't catch every single dolphin, obviously. So scientists, what they do, they catch some of them. The sampling depends on how many it's going to be in the sample. Let's say put some monitoring device and follow behavior. That's what sampling is. Subset that will help us to follow, draw conclusions, and make inference about the subject of our interest. As I mentioned in my previous video, we can never figure out anything 100%. This is why we always can be high enough, but never 100%. And we always have to work on error, because error is very, very important. The less error, the higher is effectiveness of our research. So now sampling method. I'm going to go over every single sampling method here. One is a simple random. Simple random is when you randomly picking up some, let's say you want to evaluate the dean, right? And some department is randomly picking up students, okay, and ask them to write down evaluation, do evaluation on the dean. That's going to be simple random. Stratified when, let's say, they do research on some county. For example, Hillsborough County, right? They break down into areas. It could be by zip code, it could be by neighborhood, and so on. And you take only part, do sampling from these broken sections, which means this sampling can be equal number. Let's say 50 people from one strata section, 50 people from another strata section, or it can be different, 30 from here, 50 from there. So it just, you break down in by some criteria and take people from there randomly. Convenience, it's when you do something that is convenient. Let's say you want to do survey, instead of calling people or knocking the door or sending flies with questions, you just go and stand in front of publics, and whoever is walking in, you are asking the questions for survey. So that's convenience. And the last one, none of this. So let's see which one is going to be our case. In a study, the sample is chosen by asking people on the street. There we go. I already hear you are saying convenience, because you get out and just pick the random people and ask questions. Obviously, it's going to be convenience. Okay, bingo, it's correct. If you want to practice some more, you can click above, get similar question. It's right here in the green area. Next, moving to question number 2. Match each of the following to the type of sampling technique. Okay, let's see what kind of answers we have. Systematic, system, a simple random sample. A simple random sample we already know. Convenient sample we know. And we know stratified sample. So I'm going to explain only systematic and cluster. Cluster sample is somewhat similar to stratified, but yet obviously has to be difference there. Otherwise, two identical methods is not going to be used. So the difference is, unlike in stratified sample, the entire cluster is going to be used. Let's say they broke down by the area, let's say Hillsborough County, by zip code 33618, 33634, and so on. And entire population from that zip code is going to participate. This is what we call cluster sample. Systematic sample, for example, let's say I am inspecting the quality of milk in Publix. So I'm working in the Publix and asking shop assistant to give me every 10th gallon of milk that is on the window, okay, or on the shelf. That's a systematic, every 10th. And it's they don't necessarily have to start from the beginning. They can start from anywhere in the middle of the lined up gallons. But what is interesting, they have to come back, they have to end at the point where they started. So let's say I'm starting from the 9th element. First I'm picking 9th the gallon, and then I'm going by every 10. So it will be 9th gallon plus 10, 19th gallon, and so on. If we finish, so since we started from 9, in front there are 8 also. Still 8 left, right? So I'm coming back to the number 9 again. Okay, so once we know the explanation of each one of them, let's start working. First question, it says, the school district divides the 9th grade students by high school attended and then collect data from a random sample of 9 grades from each high school. Well, what do you think? What is going to be in this case? I would say, since we are breaking down by high school, right? The students attending in high school 9th grade, but then randomly they pick up sample. That's the keyword, randomly. And that's how real quick, we can figure out, is it a cluster sample or stratified? So it's going to be stratified, which is E. Let me pick here. Okay. Next. The school district randomly selects 3 high school in the district. So randomly select 3 high school in the district and then collect data on PSAT score for the 9th grade of those districts. So since everything here is what? They pick the 3 high schools, and then they questioned everybody from that school 9 grades, every single one of them, all 9 graders. That is going to be cluster this time, right? They don't pick randomly students. They pick all 9 grades. They randomly choose 3 high schools. It's not a big deal because we said that cluster can be broken down into sector, but from there, every element of that sector need to participate. Therefore, it's going to be cluster. Next one, the school district collects data on PSAT of the first 50 scores that are entered into system. Okay, collect on the first 50 scores that are entered into system. It sounds like convenient, right? They didn't have to take first 50. So I am guessing this is going to be convenience sample. Next one, the school district has a list of all 9 grade students and then collects data on the PSAT score of every 10th student on the list. The 10th students, that clearly dictate us that it's going to be system sample, right? Which is going to be A. So what we have left there? Simple random, we'll see. So a school district has a list of all 9 grade students. They collect data on the PSAT score of 30 randomly selected students. So they randomly select 30 students. So it's going to be, here it is, B, simple random sample. Well, let's check and see how we did, or how I did, actually. Okay, bingo. All right, so we had only 2 questions on here. And thanks for watching, and I will move to 1.3.